spinning.
Got it.
I think we're live, girl.
I think we
Yay.
are live.
Hello.
Okay, hi, I am author Julie Spencer, and I'm here with Dr. Trina Boyce and new author Tiffany Thomas. And if you haven't seen our previous video that we taped just a few minutes ago, actually, if you're watching this later, then you'll just have to go find it. Trina and I just interviewed Tiffany because this is her first debut novel coming out, and we are actually going to take and format her paperback manuscript. So we're going to take what she now has as a Kindle file, because it is now the book is now live on Kindle, and we're going to take the Kindle file and format it right in Microsoft Word and make it into a paperback file. So if I fall on my face doing this, you guys can all laugh because we are doing it live.
It is live.
It is live. So if you want to laugh at me, you can laugh. If it turns out really, really bad, we can always delete the video. YouTube lets us do that.
It's not going to turn out bad.
It's not going to be bad.
But by watching this video, everybody's going to get a little sneak peek in Tiffany's new book.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it from the perspective of teaching people how to format a paperback. So in full disclosure, most people either hire somebody to do this or they use what's called Vellum. It's a formatting software. And it is
Vellum is only available for Apple. Is that right?
Correct.
And so that's part of my problem is I don't have Apple. So
sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth.
But there are workarounds. And
there are workarounds.
Right.
And there are some wonderful new, I know that Kindlepreneur just put out Atticus, and I'm still messing around with that. So I don't want to try to teach how to use that, but it also is similar to Vellum. So maybe in a later video, I can show that, but it's going to be a while before I learn how to do that.
Yeah.
I have been doing my own paperback novels in Microsoft Word, and I've done them for years. And because I, one, didn't have money to hire somebody to do them, and two, needed to know how to do them myself because I've done 30 of them. So it's best if I
you have so many books out there that at this point, whatever you can do yourself, you should.
I need to know how to do it myself. Even if I train somebody else and hire them to do it, I need to know how to do it. So I did teach myself this a long time ago. And I actually originally used templates that were from CreateSpace. That really dates me. Those of you who
those are still on there, which is why I asked, because that's what I was going to do, was just grab one of those templates and
yes. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm taking Tiffany's manuscript. So I'm going to share my screen. I've already got her manuscript pulled up.
But first, Julie, tell us what kind of books you write, and then Tiffany, tell us about what this book is about that Julie's going to work on. Okay, so Julie first.
Okay, I am a multi-genre author. I write mostly fiction, but I have a few nonfiction books, both published and in the works, but I write mostly fiction. I've got some romance, some love stories, some Christian romance, some coming of age stories. And what I realized recently is actually romantic suspense. I didn't know that I was doing research for something, and I figured it out that what I write,
there's so many categories within the genre of romance. In fact, Julie, can I brag about you? Julie has written so many of these types of books in the variety of all these categories that she now, cue the book cover, she has written a definitive book on how to write all of these different genres. Can we call them genres or categories?
Yeah.
And so people know what to expect.
Okay, Trina, you're actually combining two books when you're saying this. The one that is published already is called Writing Romance is Not About Sex, or is it? How Far is Too Far in Clean Romance? And the one that I am writing right now is How to Outline a Romance Novel. And that one is going to be months before I'm done with it. So you can't pitch it as being existing yet.
It's going to be awesome though.
But I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we are going to get to read Tiffany's. Yeah. So Tiffany's, I called you Tiffany's. Tiffany, tell us about what your book is about that Julie's going to work on.
All right. So my book is a Jane Austen variation. It takes the story of Pride and Prejudice, so Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet, and it goes back to Elizabeth in her younger years, and it says, what if? And so that's what it's fan fiction, for another term for variation. But it answers the question, what if? What if this would have happened? How would the characters react? So in my book, what if a young Elizabeth Bennet, 12 years old, had an experience that was kind of traumatic for her, where she witnessed a prominent member of her town, her community, who was good looking and amiable and kind of a pillar of the community. And she witnesses how him mistreating a young tenant girl. And she realizes at 12 years old that just because someone has an amiable countenance and a good face and, handsome and charming doesn't mean that they're necessarily a good person underneath. And so the book is called A Look Behind the Mask. And it's that everybody wears masks as we go out in public, as we interact with other people. And especially in the 1800s, when women were put into the power of a husband, they went from their fathers to their husbands. You had to take the time to look behind the mask. And so this experience at 12 then goes and shapes everything, her relationships with her sisters, her relationships with her parents, her friends. And then it completely changes how she reacts when she meets Mr. Darcy and George Wickham and that whole dynamic. So it's fun, I think. I might be prejudiced a little bit, but
and it's now available on Kindle.
Yes,
and in Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, exactly. And so it's on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, and we're moving it to paperback.
All right.
Because we have a beautiful cover for it now.
Let's dive in.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share screen, and we're going to actually look at this paperback if I can find it. I think that's the screen. All right, can you guys see my screen with it saying A Look Behind the Mask? All right, I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger, maybe. Okay, I'm going to try to get you guys out of my way here, hopefully. Can you see the screen pretty well without with you guys not being in there? That's what I need to do.
Yeah. So we don't see you seeing us, if that makes sense.
We don't see you seeing us. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
But I can move you around as needed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you can see A Look Behind the Mask. Okay.
Yes.
So, so I'm going to do this exactly how I would do one of my paperbacks. And then I explained to Tiffany that if she hates it, I can fix it later, but I'm just going to kind of whip through for the sake of time. I won't hate it.
I'm very low maintenance. Like I was telling telling Lisa, who designed the cover, which is beautiful, by the way. No, she's fantastic, which is what gave me the courage to even go for paperback. And, but I was telling her that I'm very low maintenance and I have zero expectations because I have no clue what I'm doing. So I won't hate it.
Good. Okay. So for this, I am using what used to have been like a Create Space template, although of course I'm using a newer version of Word. So, oh gosh, this little thing.
What version are you using?
Total in my way. Microsoft Word? I don't know.
It looks like you're using the latest with the Microsoft Office 365.
Yeah, 360. I'm actually going to
360,
stop sharing my screen and I'm going to reshare it in a different way because I can't see part of my screen the way I had it. I'm going to minimize that and make it all stretched and pretty.
And Tiffany has the original, so if you botch it,
no
harm done.
Right. And she won't.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, she won't.
Like
and I do a lot of my formatting on Word too. These two both write fiction, and all of my books are nonfiction, and I format them all on Microsoft Word as well.
Yeah, I think unless you're doing children's books, and even then you can kind of get away with it depending on what it is. But yeah, unless you're doing children's books, Microsoft Word really is a good
And
Way to
Tiffany's
go.
got some children's books coming out soonish.
Soonish,
Well,
yes. Waiting on
2022.
illustrations. Waiting on illustrations.
Okay, can you guys
Yes.
see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, what I was seeing earlier is I couldn't see this file home insert.
Oh, you can expand it too to
Well,
fill the screen because we can
that's what I
see
did.
other stuff.
Yeah, well, I wanted, because there's a bar up at the top on my screen that I couldn't see what you're seeing. So now I can, because I moved it down. Okay, so starting off, we're formatting. One of the things that we're going to do right off the bat is we're going to change the size.
Okay.
I jotted down notes so I didn't. Okay, layout. We're going to go to layout, and we're going to go to size of the paper. No, you know what? We're going to go to page setup. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to go margins. We're going to go 0.76. You know what? I changed all of these, and I was going to grab the new. I'm totally going to get out of this. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm going to open.
This was
up
the practice
saved
one.
Copy. That's right. I'm going to open up the original.
Open up the original.
Yes.
Go down. It was right there.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully that's the correct one now. Got it? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And I gotta move it around. See, this is fun having live because then you know that I'm really listening. There we go. Okay. Can you
You're
see
doing
the
great.
thing?
Be sure and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
Okay, now we're going to go into layout, page
Okay.
setup. Okay, see how this is your original document has 1-inch margins. Okay, that's really typical. Usually when you open a Microsoft Word document, it's going to start off with 1-inch margins. But for the sake of a paperback, we're actually going to want to change it to 0.76.
And this is specifically for a 6-inch by 9-inch, right?
Yes, and actually, I'm going to change the paper size in just a second. I'm going to kind of
I just, if you're
layout.
going to be doing I'm thinking for the people who are watching, the margins might be different if they're doing a different size book. So they just might need to do a little research first.
Yep.
And the length of your book. Your book is pretty long too. So you want to have enough room for your spine, you know, if the longer the book is, that affects it. And the color of your paper, believe it or not, affects the size of all of it too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were just having a conversation, Julie and I and some other authors, about that, how white is actually thicker than
the cream is thicker than the white.
The cream is thicker than the white. I'm getting everything backwards today.
Okay, but I gotta ask you guys to like stop talking for a couple of minutes.
Stop talking, Trina.
I'm trying to go through this and you guys keep interrupting. There's a really important part coming up that if I don't tell you, you'll miss this, and this will be really important. See this where it says multiple pages and it's set to normal? You have to set it to mirror margins. Okay.
Because when you open a book, you need the inside margins to mirror. Gotcha.
So for a 6x9 book, and this has nothing to do with the size, or excuse me, this has nothing to do with the type of paper. That's a later step. Okay, this is just if it's a 6x9 book, those are the correct settings. So 0.76, 0.76, 0.14. Did I forget the point? I did. 0.14.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that would have been bad. 0.76 and 0.6. The gutter position should be in the left, the mirror margins. Okay. And then the whole document, set it to the whole document. Okay. Now you're going to go over to paper and you're going to go to custom size.
Okay.
And then go to, for the width, you want it to be 6. And for the height, you want it to be 9, 6x9. And again, you want it to apply to the whole document. Okay. Now for the layout, we're actually going to come back to that in a few minutes. Okay. Because we got to do a few other things to the paper, or excuse me, to the document before we get to layouts. Okay. So we're going to hit okay on this part, and that's going to have it formatted for the page size that we need. Okay. Now the next thing that I recommend doing is going to the home screen and turning on this little here. It's called hide format, show and hide formatting. Okay. So you want these weird things that'll just annoy the crap out of you to be shown.
When you accidentally turn those on and you have no clue how you did it and you don't know how to get rid of them.
Exactly.
That's how
So
you do
yeah,
it.
so if you ever do it, that's that little paragraph sign like there. So this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph. So that's what that funky little sign is. All right, so now we're going to add some weird things called section breaks. Okay, so right here we've got a page break. We're actually can get rid of the page break because we're going to do a section break.
Okay.
But you actually can leave the page break in too. It's really not. We're going to go back to layout, and no, I think I am going to get to the page break and create a section break. Okay, so under breaks, section break. See where it says section breaks? Next page. Okay, so you want it to be section break. And the reason that we're going to do that is because we're going to do some things to this page that we don't want to do to, again, I got to get rid of that. Okay, that we don't want to do to this page.
Gotcha.
And the same thing with this next page. We're actually going to get rid of this page break, and we're going to create a section break. Okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the same thing after the acknowledgements.
So
page.
all of the front matter, we need
Correct.
to do this to each page.
Okay.
Yep.
So go breaks, next page, get rid of the.
And the front matter is a term we use in publishing that refers to basically everything that comes before the actual body of your book. It could be the acknowledgements, the dedication, the title page, and anything else that you want to throw in. There are lots of choices. And then the body is the actual book. And then everything after the actual book, we call the back matter. So that might be the about the author section, or other books from this publisher, or an index, or, figures, or I don't know, whatever you want to include. It's the back, in the back matter.
Okay, so see how you've got the page break, and this is how it's defaulted. So it's not like you did anything wrong, but the page break defaults to one row down from the actual paragraph. And what we want it to actually be like right in line. So we want the page, we want this section break to be right in line with everything else. So you can see how it's hard to see with the what's it called? So see how this is right in line?
Right. Yeah, no, that I see that. It's not. Okay.
That's how it defaults to. So you actually want to get rid of everything so that it's right there at the edge. Okay. So now the last one we're going to do is right at the end of the table of contents, which I already done. And then, so the next part of the book is actually now your prologue. So we're kind of done with the section breaks for now. So now we're going to go back up to, sorry, my little scroll thing is hidden behind something. So I'm using my little trackpad here. Okay, so we're at your the title page. Your title page should default perfectly. It should. But the reason that I want to make sure it's separated with a section break is because the second page, the copyright information, we want that to be bottom justified. So we want this whole page to be to the bottom.
On the bottom.
Yes. And if you see inside a book, and this one's actually a really thick book, should show up pretty well. This is my my first large print book. So yeah, so this is at the bottom. Can you see that on the screen or no? So the copyright page is almost always justified to the bottom. Okay. Right. So how we're going to do that is, remember how I said that you're going to that layout. So page setup, and we've got the layout over here. And I said we were going to come back to that. The reason that we came back to that is because we want to be able to do one section at a time, because most of the book is going to stay just as you've got it now. We just want this one page in the whole book. So we have to create those section breaks. Otherwise, you will be pulling your hair out trying to figure out what the heck you did wrong if you forget to add those section breaks. So what we're going to do, vertical alignment, we're going to put bottom. Okay. And you're going to say, remember how in the other ones we said whole document, we're going to say this section. Okay. So just this section is going to have the page number, or excuse me, it's going to have the vertical alignment to the bottom. Okay. All right. So the other thing that we're going to do. Yes. So now it's to the bottom, and I'm going to change your font because I hate your font. I'm sorry, but this is
seriously, please. I don't even know what font it is. It's the default font.
I hate the default font. When you're looking inside a book, there's a certain type of font that is in most novels. We're talking about novels right now. We're not talking nonfiction.
Well, right.
That's
right.
a whole different subject. So with novels, it's traditionally like Garamond or Times New Roman, but we're going to use Garamond because I think it looks a little bit more professional.
Okay.
But we're going to do, we don't need to do much to your acknowledgements. In fact, it should be centered. Okay. We're going to go into layout again, page setup, layout. And for this section, you're going to do centered.
Okay.
Just this section. So basically just the acknowledgements page, and we can actually get rid of this extra paragraph. Okay. So now we've got your title page. It's just default. And actually you could do it centered, but you've got all these little paragraph marks marked, and I'm just not going to mess with it. As long as you just don't do anything.
Well, and I have an image that I'm going to replace with that she sent me.
Perfect.
So that was pretty. So
yeah, actually, I think I saw that. So I'll be excited to see that. But going back to this, so table of contents, we're going to leave that for now, because we're going to come back to it later after we do everything else. So now we're into
the
this
first
section.
page.
This is page 1, and you don't have any page numbers, do you?
Right.
Okay.
No,
because
I knew
I was going to fix that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got to make sure that we're in.
Well, and
the
I would
correct
start at the
section.
top, like it would start all at the top anyway, and I didn't know how, because I didn't know section breaks. So
Yay. That's why I'm here.
yeah,
It's a great tutorial, Julie.
Oh, good.
it really is.
We're going to go, I believe it's under insert.
Yeah,
page
over there.
numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to do them in the center, because if you do them on the side, it might wind up on the wrong side.
Oh no.
And I've had it happen multiple times. I'm like,
Okay.
shoot, I forgot to center the stupid page numbers. Okay. So bottom of page, middle, center, page numbers, bottom of page, middle. Okay. So there you go. Now you've got your,
okay.
but we want it to make sure that it starts at, see how right now it's set that it's coming up on the front matter. You don't want page numbers on the front matter. You want them only on the body of the text. So we're going to go to this. Okay. See, this is, they've got it as section 1,
Right.
or excuse me, page 1. And we actually don't want it to be page 1, because we want it to be, technically it would be page, 3 or 9 or something like, I think it's set as 9. So we have to go in and tell it that that's what it is. And I'm trying to think of how to do that. I think we're going to format the page numbers. And if I do this wrong, I apologize. I'll fix it later. Number format, we want 1, 2, 3. We don't want to include chapter number. We want to start at, let's see, continue from previous section. I think. Let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, actually, we've got to do it from the beginning then. All right, so we don't want to, we want to make sure that there's not a page number on page 1. All right, so here we go. We got to format the page numbers. And we've got to, why am I blanking on how to do this? See, this is why it's fun to do things live.
So I think each section might need to be told continue previous section in order for it to like domino effect down.
Yeah, and it's somewhere on here. I'm have to have a different number
In the header, different first page.
There you go. Yay, thank you. Okay, now with this section, somehow we've got to tell it that it is
Starting at page 2. Or is it, oh, I see the eyes, like because we're going,
previous section.
yeah.
See, okay, so page numbers, I'm messing it up completely, and because I'm flustered, I'm going to come back and do that later. So ignore, just
ignore
know,
page numbers for now. That's totally fine.
Ignore page.
Do you want
numbers
them to
for
be
now.
Roman numerals? Because
That's what I was thinking at the very beginning. We want them to.
Okay,
be
so if you,
Roman.
I saw that in there.
Okay,
if you
so there's your
want.
title.
So if you click on that and go back to format page number, And then if that number format, go down,
There we
down,
go.
down. There we go. And then
Okay.
we're going to start at this one because we don't want.
No, we want to continue from previous section because we want your copyright information to be on technically the second page.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now, again, we're going to do
And
the
this one
same
will just
thing.
continue from previous section.
Oops, format page numbers, continue from previous section with the Roman numerals. Okay, now 3. Now same thing for this section.
Okay.
Page numbers, format page numbers, continue from previous section. We're still in Roman numerals at this point. And then, are we into the book now?
Yeah,
Yes,
this is the
there's your
prologue.
So for this one, again, we're going to go format page numbers, continue from previous section, and make it 1, 2s, and 3s.
Right.
And it starts with page 6. Yay. And now, perfect. Okay, I think we got them. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no,
This is
you're
a group
good.
effort. All right, now, oh yeah, we got to close out the header and footer. And I have autosave on. So for those of you who don't use autosave,
Save.
you want to make sure you go back and save. So that just wanted to make note of that. So we're going to go back to the little home area here, and we're going to talk about headings. Okay. So this is a great heading if what you're doing is navigating off to the left-hand side, but we're trying to make a novel. So unfortunately, this is going to disappear your heading and you're going to freak out, but that's okay.
It's okay.
We're actually going to, I don't think we'd have to disappear it. I think we're just going to reformat it.
Do you right click on heading 1 up at the top?
Not until I change it. So I'm going to change it to Garamond.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make it.
Oh, I think that looks prettier
16.
actually for romance.
Million times prettier. And then I'm going to make it black. Okay. Then I'm going to also center it. Now I'm going to right click on heading 1, update heading 1 to match selection. Now throughout your whole book, all of them should be that way. So let's scroll down, see if we can find the chapter 1 and see if it's working now. Okay, your chapters are long.
I know. It's a long book.
You know what? I think I could just do that. There we go.
There we go.
It automatically did it. Because
that looks really pretty.
Okay, but we're going to go back to the prologue. Now you've got that italicized, and I'm assuming you want to keep that. So I'm going to kind of use this as just kind of a way of doing it so that I don't mess up the italics. And I'm going to, so now this is set to normal. See how that's set to normal? We're going to change normal. We're going to change it to Garamond. And we're going to make this chapter, or excuse me, we're going to make it size 12. Actually, with a book as long as yours, we might want to make it 11.
Right.
Okay.
I would probably do it 12. And then if I were doing it like a larger, like if I'm doing a young adult book, I might do it 14. If I'm doing like a large print book, it's going to be closer to 16 or 18 for this section, but we're going to keep it 11 because otherwise your book is going to be super, super thick. And then we're going to go to paragraph settings. Okay. And we're going to go indents and spaces because the way you've got it here with this giant like space in between.
That was the only way I could do it when I was formatting this to make it for Kindle.
Okay, so we're going to do it alignment left, and then I'm going to flip to my next page so I make sure I get everything correct. Okay, paragraph. All right, alignment left, outline is body text, indentation 0, also 0, and then we're going to go special first line. And we're going to change it because if you leave it at 0.5, it's giant. You don't want that. You want it to be 0.2. Okay. Now you've got all the spacing before. We're going to change that. We're going to make the top one 0. So the before is 0 and the after is going to be 6. No. Yes, 6. Oops. Okay, 6. And we're going to have line spacing at single. Okay. And then don't check this little box. Don't add space between paragraphs. That's totally defeating the purpose. So we're going to hit OK. And then now that it looks good, right? That's better. Yep. And then we're going to take and right click on normal.
Okay.
Update normal to match selection.
Oh, and that did that.
For some reason,
And that's
it did
okay.
get rid of your italics.
And that's
but
okay, because it's easy to go through those and just.
Another thing that, because we've changed that for everything, we've also made it first line. And for this one, we actually don't want it to be first line. So we're gonna just for that one, we're gonna change it back over.
Okay.
We're gonna make it italics just because we are thinking about it.
Mhm.
So you can.
And one
go
thing
through
that
and
you
make
can,
sure all your other italics.
one
are
thing that
working.
you can do to change that quickly for the future ones, if you highlight it,
Okay.
if you highlight that line and see the paintbrush in the top left corner. No, don't right click. Up in the top left, click it twice.
Oh, look.
But yeah, double click it.
You can apply that look to the content of the document.
Yeah, if you click it one time, and so then go down to chapter 1.
Oh,
See how it's now a paintbrush? So if you scroll down to chapter 1.
Oh.
And you run over that one, then it will.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, you have to highlight the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but no. So you lost, no. So that's why you have to, so if you click the paintbrush.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
You wanted a double click, didn't you?
Yeah, if you double click the paintbrush, it will keep it paintbrushy no matter how many times you do it until you unclick the paintbrush.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's cool. I've never used that.
I have not either. So you can learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to go through it.
Yay, I feel like I contributed.
When you're completely done with me messing around with it and you have the document in your hands again, you're going to want to kind of mess around. See, what I just did a second ago is I put some spaces in that I just thought should be there.
Yeah.
So depending on how you want it, I'm not going to do that right now. Depending on how you want it.
Do most of them, I got to go look at like books I have now because I don't pay attention. I feel like that usually when it says chapter 1, it's like halfway down the page for starting a new chapter.
Correct.
So I'll have to go look at that.
Now, that's how I do it. I do it halfway down the page. Now, the easiest way that I have found to do that, rather than create like sections for every single chapter, because that would be a pain in the butt.
I was just going to go enter.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go.
I wonder if you could
make those
do the heading 1 and change heading 1 to have like a really high thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, hey, that could work.
Now, just as something to think about, because your book is so large, if you don't include that space, that'll shrink the page count down a little bit. Something to consider if you have a long book. There's no rule that says you have to drop it down to the middle of the page.
I didn't do it. I told it to do it. Before 54 font. Or 54 point, I mean. Well, it didn't do it.
Okay, never mind. I don't either. It was just, I'll play around with it.
Yeah.
If I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Okay, so there I'm going to make just 5 spaces.
Yeah.
I think 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there would be good. Okay. So now we have changed the formatting on the headings. We've changed it on the body text. You can see that we've added page numbers, and for some reason they are set to the side. See how easy it is to mess these up. Format page numbers. We want to make it notes and amendments. Great. Why are the page numbers doing this to me? We're in the header, right? No, I mean, we're in the footer.
We're in the footer.
Why isn't it letting me do this? We had it set correctly before, so why is it doing this?
Yeah, interesting that it went back. I wonder if when we switched out that header information with the spacing, if it changed it. Well, we can go back and fix that later, but I don't want this video to be so long that people start falling asleep. So
we're going to
close
that
out.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Now, if you go over here to pages, I'm going to make it nice and big so you can see these.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I'm going to turn off the paragraph thing.
That's the technical term, the paragraph.
I want this way smaller,
Okay.
like way smaller. Oh, and I think you've got space. That's why it's messing me up. I'm like, why are there so much space in between there? I thought we fixed that.
And were
We
you
did.
going to change the font on the copyright information text there?
Yeah, I was just about to do that, but what were you thinking?
Well, it is on Garamond, and we're going to center it and make it smaller.
Yeah. There. Does that
Okay.
look better?
Yeah, that looks great.
It looks like a real book.
Ooh,
I know.
it is a real book.
It's a real book.
Okay. Okay, the last thing we need to do is the table.
Oh,
of contents.
update the tape. Yes.
Yes. Now, I guess the table is okay the way it is.
Do most people
it's
have
not.
tables of
Never mind.
contents anymore?
It's not. Yes, they do in a paperback.
Okay.
Yeah, for print books. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can tell I've been reading a lot on Kindle Unlimited
Yeah,
lately.
on Kindle, they don't.
I know they do. So update table.
Yeah. And because this, I'm going to actually make it full screen again for a second because it's.
What are you
messed
going to
up.
do to it?
I was going to change the
Font?
table of contents, but oh, it's references. I'm like in totally the wrong screen.
There
If
we
I
go.
just update the table, the current table is set. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that it has numbers, like page numbers at the end. So I don't know if you can see that. with your
Microsoft
screen.
Word is just like magic.
Amazing. I know.
Mhm.
I do want to center this though, because that's just is bugging me. It should be centered. So table of contents. There you go.
Do you want it to just say contents? Did we delete the table of?
I think it's always said contents, but you can make it as table of contents if you want. Okay. So I think that's really pretty much it. other than trying
Awesome.
to
Thank you
figure
so
out-
much. This would have taken me so much longer to figure out on my own.
Yeah.
Well, that's like 10 years worth of me trying to
It's
do it.
good
on
to
my
know
own and
smart
figuring-
people.
Which is exactly why I messaged you and was like, how do I do this?
See, now the page number thing is going to just drive me nuts unless I fix it. So I'm not really sure how to do that, but we can end our.
Go
what's
to
that?
home from right
Okay.
here and just
Mhm.
click center. Like the center. Yeah. There.
Is it going to do
Did it do it for all of them?
Yes.
It did. Hey.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you.
You're
Gosh.
welcome. I didn't know if it was going to work. I was just guessing.
I'm guessing.
Now hit save
Oh,
just in
you know what else
case.
we did is when we changed the normal, we forgot to do the
Oh,
what's it
Title?
called? The title page. This should be title, not. So we want it to be centered, and I don't like that title. I want it to be Garamond.
for that minute, I thought you meant like the words of the title, not how it looks. And I was like, oh, I thought I liked my title, my book.
It is a good title.
And then I was like, oh, she means like the font style,
Yeah,
not the words themselves.
Did you have it as gray before?
Not on purpose.
I just don't want to mess things up too much.
Oh no, I have, again, no expectations, no anything.
So there, I would actually put that a little bit closer together. Okay.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Julie.
welcome.
I appreciate it so
I
much.
hope it didn't confuse you more than.
No,
I
not at
thought.
all. No, this was great. This was so great.
You seem to know a lot about Microsoft Word. So I'm hoping that somebody else watching this video, if you don't know a lot about Microsoft Word, it
Well, the
might
fact
be
that it's
a little more difficult.
visual helps because you don't have to
Yes.
know a lot to be able to just point and click.
Yeah.
And do the same things we did because you get to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
And you
I
can
stop
always reach out to
sharing.
Julie because she's super nice. So you can always, like, in the comments of the video, say, Julie, help.
Yeah. And if you know of any other fun tips and tricks,
Mhm.
comment
Share
down
them.
below,
Yeah.
subscribe, like the
Because
channel.
I will use them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also down below in the description, we'll have information on where you can find all of us if you're interested in our books or other things that we do. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Yeah,
that
thank
was
you so
helpful.
much, ladies. You're the
And I was
best.
going to say also, if there are some things that you guys, the viewers on my channel, if there are things you want to know how to do like this, where, you know, going through and actually doing it in front of you and screen share, I might be able to take the time to do some things. So if you have some suggestions, let me know.
And then share it with other people you know.
That's what the YouTube channel is at, right? Okay.
Awesome.
Well,
You're the
ladies,
best.
it is getting super late in Michigan. I'm in Michigan. And where are you, Tiffany?
Houston, Texas.
Houston,
Mhm.
Texas. And
So I'm an
Trina,
hour
you?
behind you, and then Trina's an hour behind me.
Vegas,
So,
baby.
yeah.
Las Vegas.
It's
So,
dinner time.
the miracle of
It's
technology that brings the three of us together
Yes.
on a Zoom call. This is just
Yes.
amazing. So
It is
love
amazing.
So-
It is.
Well,
And then
Awesome.
just shoot it out into the world on YouTube. This is
I
just
know.
technology is amazing.
Cool.
So, well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for
All right.
joining me
Thank
on
you
my
so
channel.
much.
And I am at authorjuliespencer.com. Tiffany, tell us your email, or excuse me, your website again, real quick.
AuthorTiffanyThomas.com.
And Trina.
And you can
your
find me as an
or
author
your
coach at
website
FromBookToBusiness.com.
with the number 2.
FromBookToBusiness.com. The number 2. Yeah.
With the number
Mm-hmm.
2. Okay. And thank
right.
you to our coach extraordinaire, our author coach
Yes.
extraordinaire, Trina Boyce.
Thank you. You two
Yes.
make me look good. You're out there doing amazing things, pumping out incredible books. I'm so proud of you.
Well,
Oh, thank you.
one, Julie's the one pumping them out. She's awesome that way.
Well,
But
we're
you've got a
honored to have your
bunch
help.
coming soon. So
Yeah.
Yep.
no fingers crossed that it's going to happen. 2022. Stay
And-
tuned for
Yes,
more.
There you
ma'am.
go. There
Yep.
you go. And Tiffany, you'll have to show me how to do something on that fan fiction
yeah.
site sometime.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
have
we
to
do
get together.
another video on that another day.
There you
Yes,
go.
definitely.
Okay.
More than happy.